The screen is black, except for a single blinking cursor, pulsing like a heartbeat in the dark. A low, distant war drum begins to rise. Now imagine Alexander the Great, not astride a warhorse, but leaning over this glow, preparing to launch a single link to the world. His motto would not be, "Fake it till you make it," but a colder, clearer resolve. Fake it? No. Build it. Lead it. For a man who once moved armies with rumors and carved his name into stone, one well-built website would be a new kind of weapon. This film is not fantasy. It is a thought experiment grounded in history, psychology, and the real science of how humans follow, trust, and obey. If Alexander had B12.io to forge his digital stronghold, he would treat it not as decoration, but as the core of his strategy. Beneath the calm surface of a homepage, he would hide logistics, recruitment paths, and a narrative designed to rewrite identity itself. Tonight, we will trace how an ancient conqueror's mind could merge with modern code and ask what that reveals about the empires being built around us now. Long before fiber optic cables, Alexander built his own network of roads, scouts, storytellers, and symbols that traveled faster than most armies. Slow fade-in of dust-covered maps. He named cities after himself, stamped his profile onto coins, and stood like a living logo at the edges of the known world. Historians call it empire. Psychologists see something else, an early form of branding, identity engineering on a continental scale. Our brains are wired to follow coherent stories, to ask, who am I in this tale, and what side am I on? Alexander offered a simple, seductive answer. You are part of my vision, marching toward a horizon bigger than your village, your tribe, your lifetime. Social identity theory explains this pull. We trade the fear of smallness for the comfort of belonging to something vast. The same circuitry that once bound soldiers to a banner now binds users to a page, a logo, a clean headline at the top of a screen. To understand the website he never had, we must first understand the story he already told so powerfully that it still echoes 2,000 years later. A papyrus scroll dissolves into a wireframe. Ink strokes transform into lines of code. On a modern screen, a B12.io interface opens fields for purpose, imagery, calls to action, waiting to be filled like a digital campaign tent. Who are you? The builder asks, and history replies, Alexander, king of Macedon, seeker of the edge of the world. At the top of the page, a single line appears. Unite under one vision. Cross every border. Below it, a quiet but decisive button glows. Join the march. This isn't magic. It's structure clear, hierarchy, focused attention. The same principles UX designers and behavioral scientists map every day. B12's AI drafts a first version of the copy in seconds, but the psychology is ancient. Promise meaning show strength, lower friction, and people move. Alexander's hypothetical site is not a fan page. It is a recruitment engine, a command center, and a monument, all compressed into one address you can type. We like to believe we choose freely, but decades of research say otherwise. Tiny design choices can tilt us more than we notice. A warmer color on the Join button, a photograph of confident faces instead of abstract symbols, a short scroll instead of a long one, each nudge whispers, this is safe, this is right. Cialdini's principles of influence, authority, social proof, commitment would have been Alexander's familiar allies, now rendered in pixels instead of speeches. His crest at the top of the page signals authority. Live counter showing 50, 2,347 already joined, provides social proof in real time. A simple form name, skill, city turns a visitor into a recruit, a psychological commitment encoded in a few keystrokes. Neuroscientists tell us that anticipation of status and belonging lights up reward circuits in the brain, the same regions touched by gambling and music. Every element of the site would be tuned to that wiring, not to trick, but to channel a timeless hunger to matter, to be chosen, to be part of something larger. In that sense, the click is not small at all. It is the digital echo of stepping forward when a general asks, who will cross the next river with me? Alexander's real power was never just in battle. It was in knowing where to move, when to pause, and whom to win before a sword was drawn. In his time, information traveled by horse and rumor, patched together from scouts' reports and traders' whispers. Today, a dashboard does in seconds what took him weeks. It shows where visitors come from, which message they linger on, where they turn away. On our Imagine B12 built site, heat maps glow across a world map like small campfires, clusters of attention in cities he never knew existed. Analytics reveal that a story about shared glory performs better than one about fear of the enemy. The narrative shifts, data feeding decisions, the way old maps once did. This is logistics of the mind, not moving grain or cavalry, but belief, curiosity, and resolve across invisible networks. The science is simple but profound. What we measure, we shape, and what we shape, we often come to worship. Alexander once asked, "How far can I go before the world ends?" Today, the question hides behind a quieter metric. How far can this reach before the clicks stop? Every tool of persuasion carries a shadow, and Alexander knew that better than most. Stories can liberate, but they can also blind. A website that can unite the willing can also radicalize the uncertain, turning doubt into zeal with a few carefully chosen words. Psychologists call it the foot in the door effect. Agree to something small, sign up, share, comment, and you are more likely to agree to something larger. Algorithms learn which fears you react to, which hopes keep you scrolling, and gradually your screen stops showing the world and starts showing only your reflection. If Alexander commanded such a system, his empire might stretch not just across land, but across the inner maps of millions of minds. This is no longer about cavalry or siege towers. It is about attention, the most finite resource of the digital age. The suspense in our story is not whether he could have done it, but whether someone, somewhere, is already doing it with a cleaner logo and softer language. In the glow of the browser, conquest doesn't look like flags and fire. It looks like trust, convenience, and the quiet feeling that everyone else has already clicked accept. The most honest empires are not built on fake promises, but on structures that can survive scrutiny, clear goals, transparent motives, and the courage to say, "Here is what we are building. Judge it." What if the real lesson of this thought experiment is not about Alexander at all, but about you, about the one site, one message, one mission you choose to build in your own corner of the web? What if, instead of faking greatness for attention, you quietly constructed something worthy of loyalty, page by page, word by word, action by action? Fake it? No. Build it, lead it, and let your digital empire be measured not by how many you conquer, but by how many you genuinely help to grow. If this journey made you think, stay with it. Share this story, subscribe for more, and invite others to question the world's ancient and online that they are already marching in.